looking for love, king of the road.
Howdy, folks. Jim King of the TV and radio here with a special treat today. You know, it's been, I guess, 45 years since Urban Cowboy came out, the film. And they're going to have a little celebration in Houston. You're going to find out in just a little bit. It's June 22nd. I've got Leon Beck here to talk to you about that. And we've got John Travolta. No, it's not John Travolta. It's the guy who that story was based on in real life, a.k.a. Bud and Sissy. We're going to talk to him in just a moment. And we're also going to play Urban Cowboy, the soundtrack, the video. That's coming up in just a moment. That is on the right, Do. And on the left, we've got Mr. Leon Beck. Leon, tell us about your event coming up June 22nd.
Well, I'm real excited. Thank you so much, Jim, for doing this interview. And thank you, Dew, for being part of this. June the 22nd, we're celebrating the 45th anniversary of the Urban Cowboy movie that came out in 1980. Can you imagine 45 years later, we're still celebrating a movie that came out 45 years ago? And we're holding the celebration at a club called Buck Wild. That's in Webster, Texas. That's right outside of Houston in the Clear Lake area. It's on Sunday, June the 22nd, and doors open at 4 and everything kicks off at 5. We're going to have a lot of Urban Cowboy flavored, I guess the theme, plus the Gillies theme, because we're having a lot of the Gillies people there that worked, played, sang at Gillies, and the people that were in the movie, the local people. Other people who will be there will be Gator Conley. He won the dance contest in Urban Cowboy, and Jessie Mapes, she played Betty's best friend in the movie. And Betty is played by Deborah Winger, and they call her Sissy. They call you Bud. And then Norman Tucker will be there. He won the punching bag contest, came in third on the mechanical bull riding contest, and we'll even have Judy Compton there. She came in runner-up on the Dolly Parton lookalike contest. We'll have Gillies merchandise. We'll have about 20 plus singers singing the music of the Urban Cowboy era. And in my opinion, Urban Cowboy movie made a bigger impact in America than any other movie that I could think of.
All right, Leon Beck, you should check out his magazine too, Texas Hot Country Magazine. I'm proud to write a little column about once a quarter for that. We also have Dew Westbrook here. Dew, you actually are the guy that John Travolta played in the movie Urban Cowboy. It's based on your life, you and a young lady named Betty that you met way back in 1975.
Right.
So the story is pretty accurate in the Urban Cowboy movie?
It's pretty accurate how things happen, and it sometimes was a little bit different on when it actually happened, but most of the stuff in that whole movie was pretty much spot on, about 85% of it.
And you met John Travolta?
Yeah, I met him on his birthday.
I have a little story about John Travolta and Urban Cowboy. In 1980, I was attending the University of Texas at Austin. I went there from 77 to 81. I was walking across campus, and I was a huge John Travolta fan, you know, growing up in teenage years watching Welcome Back, Kotter, and then his success with that movie, Saturday Night Fever. I was walking across campus one day to my class, and walking right toward me with a basketball in his hand was John Travolta. This was in 1980. He had a group of guys with him. That was the first time I really became starstruck. I mean, because he was walking right at me, and our eyes were locked. And I wanted to say something, but I didn't. I said, that's got to be John Travolta. Then I read that they were making the movie over in Houston. So he came over to Austin that day and played some basketball. That was kind of...
He's a pretty nice, likable guy. He gets along with everybody.
Did you get invited to the premiere of the movie? Did they invite you? You and Betty?
No, they didn't. I was scheduled to do all of that, but it seems like the senior vice president at the Paramount Pictures kind of got his feelings hurt when I told him what I thought. And so he didn't let me go to the premiere in New York. He didn't let me go to the premiere in California. And he didn't let me go to the premiere in Houston. And then he even tried to keep me out of Gillies that night, which that was a big no-no.
What did you say to cause that?
At the time when John Travolta was sitting in my living room on his birthday, we had several people in there in that room, in my living room there. And the man asked me what I thought about John Travolta playing my part. And I asked him, I says, "Are you sure you want the answer to this question?" And then I think Leon jumped in there and asked me a different question to change the temperature in the room right quick. And a few minutes later, that man asked me that question again. And I told him, I says, "Now, this is the second time. Are you sure you want the answer to this question?" And about that time, John Travolta jumped in there and asked the question. And he said, "Wait a minute. I asked you a question." And I turned to that man and I says, "Now I want you to listen, and listen really easy. Listen real good. This is not hard to understand. I don't think John Travolta can play the part, but if he can, that shows what kind of good actor he is. But according to all the newspapers and everything else, they left out that second part." Now that made that man mad enough that he got up off my couch and walked out the door.
Wow.
Well, I guess a multi-billionaire's never had anybody stand straight up to his face and tell him what they thought.
Right.
I'm not no butt kisser for nobody.
Well, that's Texas style right there.
John thought that was great. He said he loved that challenge, and he made it a challenge, and he did a good job, and I commend him for it. At that time in my life and everything else that was going on, I didn't think that was the right move, but they proved me wrong.
You're a man that speaks his mind. So don't ask Dio if you don't want to know the truth.
I'll give you three options. I'll give you three chances at that question.
Here comes Johnny Lee and Looking for Love as our Jackson Hill Park and Marina music clip of the week straight from Nashville.
Well, I spent a lifetime looking for you. Single bars and good time lovers were never true. Playing a fool's game, hoping to win, and telling those sweet lies and losing again. I was looking for love in all the wrong places, looking for love in too many faces, searching their eyes, looking for traces of what I'm dreaming of, hoping to find a friend and a lover. I'll bless the day I discover another heart, looking for love. And I was alone then, no love in sight. I did everything I could to get me through the night. I don't know where it started or where it might end. I turned to a stranger just like a friend. 'Cause I was looking for love in all the wrong places, looking for love in too many faces, searching their eyes, looking for traces of what I'm dreaming of, hoping to find a friend and a lover. I'll bless the day I discover another heart, looking for love. came a knocking at my heart's door. You're everything I've been looking for. There's no more looking for love in all the wrong places, looking for love in too many faces, searching their eyes, looking for traces of what I'm dreaming of. Now that I've found a friend and a lover, God bless the day I discovered you. Oh, you, looking for love in all the wrong places, in too many faces, searching their eyes, looking for traces of what I'm dreaming of. Now that I found a friend and a lover, God bless the day I discovered you. Oh, you, looking for love in all the wrong places, in too many faces, searching their eyes, looking for traces of what I'm dreaming of. Now that I found a friend.
Escape to Jackson Hill Park and Marina at Lake Sam Rayburn. Your lakeside paradise awaits. Enjoy premier boating, fishing, and picturesque views. Then unwind in our cozy cabins and savor delicious dishes at our on-site restaurant with full bar. Plus, join us for periodic special concert events where live music brings our community together under the stars. Create unforgettable memories at Jackson Hill Park and Marina. Visit us today and let your adventure begin. Up next, Mickey Gilley takes center stage in the Royal Spotlight.
King of the road.